Yo, what's good, y'all? It's Bryson, man. Today we're back again in another video. This is going to be DJ telling you a little something different if you see in the title. And it is going to be me predicting what 5 matches do I think will be the best coming out of WrestleMania 42. Now, these predictions are more based off the fact of whether or not I think these matches are going to deliver at the highest quality, and will they be the best in-ring matches? Like, will we enjoy them the most? All this other good stuff. Now, I don't know if I should go in any particular order because I am doing a lot of this off the top of my head. First thing I can think of that I think will be like a top 5 high quality match is the Intercontinental Championship ladder match. I feel like there's no way with my boy Javon Evans, your boy is bouncy, and Rey Mysterio obviously being, pretty much the greatest high flyer of all time. Dragon Lee does his thing. Penta does his thing. JD McDonough does his thing whenever they, give him a chance to wrestle. Rusev does his thing. He wrestles obviously different from all those guys because the funny thing about it is I think everybody in this match is a high flyer except for Rusev, right? Javon, Penta, Dragon Lee, Rey Mysterio. JD McDonough, I guess, kind of does a mixture of everything, but yeah, Rusev is the only one that doesn't usually go up to that top rope. So that is the first match I will say that comes to my head that I actually do think will deliver. And to me, has zilch nada no chance that it doesn't deliver. Now, another match that I think could deliver, could be a show stealer, is Liv Morgan and Stephanie McMahon. You know what I'm saying? Now, Liv has obviously continuously improved her wrestling. I like to say that I became a fan of hers at day one when she had that match with Becky Lynch in 2022. I would like to say that's when I started, getting more into Liv Morgan and stuff like that. So seeing her improve every single year and getting better in the ring, and then obviously 2024 until now hitting her stride as a character, as a persona, as they like to say. I think that match has great potential. Stephanie's obviously a great wrestler, a lot of great moves. She's just good at what she does, whether it's athletically, whether it's technically. She just knows what she's doing. So combining that with the fact that Liv is a good wrestler as well, and just the heat going into the match, with them being so angry at each other, with them literally I can't say them clashing heads. Stephanie clashed Liv's head with Roxanne Perez's head. And they had a whole goddamn head-to-head collision, and a whole freaking goose egg got on her head. But yeah, them actually keeping it short and simple, knowing that Stephanie doesn't speak a whole lot of English, and also her promos obviously come off, especially when they did that promo package where Stephanie, kind of made Liv cry basically with the things that she was saying in Spanish, you know what I'm saying? And that being said, I think Stephanie does better with the, obviously because, Spanish is, I'm sure, her first language, right? So I think those promos come off better in delivery, and I also think that them not doing a whole lot of talking due to the fact that, one, Stephanie, like I say, gets better at English each and every single time. If you guys know, she's been learning on her English, stuff like that, which is really good, you know what I'm saying? Because, if you're going to be in WWE, it is pretty much a necessity that you got to learn a good bit of English or a great deal of English, even if you don't know like a whole bunch. You got to know at least enough to do the promos and stuff like that. So shout out to her for doing that and putting in the work to do that. But I actually think due to the fact that she does not speak a whole lot of English, even though she speaks some English, I think it actually works that they didn't really say a whole lot. Because the thing with Liv Morgan is she gets over as the more annoying voice, you know what I'm saying? Complaining, whiny sounding type of heel. And I feel like because of that dynamic being there works that they don't say a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? We kind of get straight to the point. And I think due to the heat in that match and due to the fact that both of these girls can go, Stephanie can go obviously to that next level. But I think this could end up being the best women's match on the card. Even though Becky and AJ actually had a solid match at Elimination Chamber, I actually think that Stephanie and Liv could. I don't know if it's guaranteed because, Rhea Ripley, we don't know how much she can bring out of Jade, you know what I'm saying? So that being said, you never know. But I do think just based off the heat going into this match and the fact that both women can wrestle, like I said, Stephanie can obviously wrestle to that, elite level, next level type of wrestling skill and ability. But I will put that in the match. I think will be in like the top 5 as far as show steals for the show. Now, the next match I immediately thought of off the top of my head, honestly, is Seth Rollins and Gunther. Now, this is a lot on them I don't know what I was trying to say. Insinuating, I don't know what I was trying to say. Considering the fact that they're both known for being the greatest in-ring performers of their generation and or just the greatest in-ring wrestlers of like, the last 10, 15 years. They're both known for that. So with them being such ring generals, one even calling himself the ring general, to me, it's kind of a lot on them. I know it ain't been a lot of build. It's only been like 2 weeks of build. And, Gunther came in there with Seth and said that, the match is personal for me because, you've been walking around saying you're the best wrestler or walking around here with your chest puffed out like you're the best wrestler in the world. But the truth is I am. And the whole time I was world champion with your whole little group, you basically ducked me. You avoided me. You ran away from me. And now, you can't do that this time around, because we got penciled in, locked in, twin, match at WrestleMania. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be to this level, but if they're both known for their great in-ring work, some could even think and fathom in their minds and their little brains that there's no reason why this can't be like a second coming of even though it hadn't had the story time to build up. Somebody could say there could be a second coming of a Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker WrestleMania 25 type of vibe to this, only because these are two of the best in-ring wrestlers in the world. So I actually think there is a lot of pressure. Not to say they got to get to that level of Shawn and Taker, because like I said, those guys did have time to build a story. But Undertaker's known as one of the best wrestlers. Shawn is known as pretty much the greatest wrestler in that ring. And I feel like it's the same for Gunther and Seth, right? They're both known for being great in-ring wrestlers, and they're also both known for bringing something out of people you don't really expect a lot of great match quality out of. Like, they're both known for at least getting a little more something out of you than the normal type of wrestler you would and stuff like that. So I think that match does have show stealer potential as well. So I think I got 2 more left on the list. Okay. Off the top of my head, I feel like I have to pick one of the main events of WrestleMania as far as what will actually be a great in-ring match. Now, the thing with the 6-man tag, I will say that as an honorable mention because I think that's going to be more of a fun match than like a really good or great match. I think more or less that's going to be like a fun match, but nonetheless, I'll put that as like an honorable mention just because I think that's going to be really fun with the athletes involved. And obviously, it's funny enough being the YouTubers that are the best athletes. No, Austin Theory can go too as in athletically, Austin Theory is good too. So it's funny how the bad guys have the best athletes and the and the good guys are the ones who have the people that aren't as athletic and stuff like that. So it's actually funny how that ended up working out that way. But anyway, I'll kind of throw that in as an honorable mention. The other one, like I said, I feel like here I would have to pick one of the main events. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in-ring wrestling bell-to-bell wise, maybe Cody and Randy could be a better match. But I might actually go on a limb and maybe say that Roman and Punk could be a great, even though we know that they're probably going to start off kind of slow, or the most aggression they're going to start off with is probably some punches. You know what I'm saying? So one could maybe say that Roman and Punk could end up being a better match just because, just because they don't have that ick as people feel it is with Pat McAfee being involved. They don't have that ick involved with Pat McAfee. So I think that might actually help them have a better match because they don't have to worry about any type of like celebrity involvement and shenanigans and all that type of stuff. So I actually think that Roman versus Punk, I'm predicting, I could be wrong, I'm predicting it will be a better match than Cody and Randy. Like I said, part of that is because they don't have the Pat McAfee-ism, the McAfism that is Pat McAfee involving his taint into the match, you know what I'm saying? Toxifying the match, you know what I'm saying? Getting his scent all over it. And that being said, and also, I feel like Roman and Punk is going to be one of those matches where, like, even if it's not setting the world on fire in, like, that first half, in that second half is definitely going to pick up. Like, the pace will pick up in that match. I think it'll be going crazy. And, yeah, we could see some great in-ring wrestling and just, like, the drama and everything else kick up in the match, especially if any Bloodline members come around. Even though I think if I'm not mistaken, I think Roman did say that he didn't want them helping out. But you never know. So there's a lot of high drama potential in that story, which can make up for the fact that they don't really do anything too crazy in the ring. Does Roman and Punk? I think the drama in the story can make up for that. Like I said, Cody and Randy could still deliver as a bell-to-bell match, but I think with the McAfee-isms with it, it could potentially, unless Pat McAfee is not a factor in the finish, I could see that McAfeeism kind of messing up and tainting that match a little bit. Not in the same way, but in a similar vein that like it did with Travis Scott when John Cena and Cody wrestled each other. And I will say that match not being good, I think that was also due to the fact that I think Cena said he purposely wrestled a slow, methodic style. And I think he realized, or they found out, I think Triple H and all of them, they found out, hey man, you can't wrestle all slow and methodical like that, because at the end of the day, even as a heel, you still have to be entertaining. You know, I get as a heel, you know, you slow down the match, which is fine, but it can't be in a way where it's not entertaining. Like, you still got to have an entertaining match. Excuse me. Because we don't want to, you know, drive people away, or we don't want to, like, now F up all of our matches that we have left for you this year. Because, I mean, the WrestleMania 17 match and maybe the WrestlePalooza match was the only bad matches, I would say. Because the R-Truth matches were what they were. They weren't, you know, the ones he had with R-Truth was kind of, it is what it is. But the only, like, bad matches, like, wasn't real well-received matches in John's whole retirement tour, I would say is the WrestleMania 41 match and the WrestlePalooza match. And the WrestlePalooza match, I think it was mainly because even if Cena still would have lost that match, I think a lot of people like myself just preferred it to at least be a back and forth contest. Like, would have preferred Cena to win, obviously, to get his revenge on the whole Suplex City thing. But I think a lot of us, even if Cena would have still lost, I think if it would have been 50-50 and not just a lesser version of Suplex City, it really became F5 City, because did he hit like 5 F5s on Cena to pin him? So yeah, it just, and also with it starting the night, and then you're the guy everybody wants to win, and they're so high on Cena because obviously he's leaving at that time. And it's like all of that, and then he, you know, not only loses, but got dominated for most of it again. Like, that was not a good way to start off a show that you want to get off to a good start. And it goes to show you, like, what starts a show is very important. People may not point that out enough, that, like, the start of the show is very important because it sets a good pace and tone for the rest of the night. And also, it's the first match the crowd sees, so it puts them in a good mood of the rest of the night. But if you put them in a bad mood, it's harder to, like, get them back invested. Saying all that, I know I went off on a tangent, but say all that to say, the match that I thought of last, so we mentioned the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Vaquera. What else did we mention? We mentioned Seth Rollins versus Gunther. We said that Roman Reigns and Punk, I'm predicting, will be a better match. Like I said, I know they don't do a whole lot of, like, athletic moves, but I think the drama and the story and them just, like I said, getting it going in that second half, getting the ball rolling, will kind of fuel that match to be better. Because they had a great triple threat. You know, even before the drama, it was actually just a great in-ring triple threat match last year with Roman, Punk, and Seth. So I think it can still kill it here. But nonetheless, the one match that I will say I left reserved in my head and I pushed it off to be last on purpose is my boy, Shot Trick Williams, though. That, you know, I think that will actually be a good match. Sammy's good at wrestling, really good in the ring. Trick is pretty solid in the ring. I think they can make some magic. That's one of those sleeper matches I think might end up delivering, even though people in ring are not necessarily expecting to be a banger match per se. Now, if Melo was in that triple threat, people would expect it. But nonetheless, my boy Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar. Now this, I will say, this is the type of match that you would want to make like no more than 10 minutes, or like, I don't know why. I have this magical number in my head that this match is going to be like 8 minutes. I don't know why. I have this magical number in my head, like the Magic 8 Ball. I have this magical number that this match will go probably like 8 minutes, like not including entrances. I think this match bell to bell will probably go like 8 minutes. I think this match will be in single. Oh, my bad. That was my timer. I think this match will be in single-digit minutes, whether it's 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever it is. Because I think it's going to be similar to WrestleMania 33, Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, where it was literally just 5 minutes of them doing their best stuff, right? Spears, German suplexes, an F5, a kick out, a jackhammer, a kick out, F5 ends the match. Now, I think it'll be similar here. I think this will be a really fun match. I think it will be one of those matches where we're not looking at it to be an all-time classic. We're looking at it to be a really fun car crash match because it's the battle between the two rulers. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned all of that John Cena talking, didn't even mention the fact that in my review, and didn't even mention in my review that he's going to be hosting WrestleMania. So it's cool to see one of my GOATs back. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much the GOAT of pro wrestling, WWE as a whole. It'll be good to see him, and it'll probably be a fun interaction. I could see him doing so with Danhausen, considering they actually teased that on Monday Night Raw. So that should be a little fun segment. It's always good to see Cena. I'm not one of those people that be like, oh, legends don't need to come back and blah, blah, blah. I like seeing the legends. I have respect for him and love for him. But anyway, Oba Femi needs to beat Brock Lesnar, and also I think this match needs to be, like I said, about 7-8 minutes. Single digit. To me, it needs to be single digit minutes. If so, just over 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying, at most. That way we can do what we wanted to, or we can get to where we wanted to get, which was just getting these two monsters in the ring and seeing them do their thing. The one thing I really want to see in this match is two things, other than Oba Femi obviously pinning them. The two things I want to see in this match is the spot where Oba Femi gets German suplex and he no-sells it. He does a thing where he like takes a German and then he like, you know, hulks up like that. Goddamn, didn't hurt me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I want to see that spot because Brock Lesnar is known for German suplexes, so he would be. This is perfect. Oba did a lot of that no-selling of German suplexes. Not like a bunch of them, but like he would no-sell a German suplex in NXT. So I need to see him do that at the big stage of WrestleMania. And I do want to see, so y'all would know when Oba tossed that security guard where he basically does what Cena does, like they call it a proto bomb because he used to be the prototype, where he picks the guy up in a belly to back suplex type situation where his arm is over his neck, but instead of just dropping back, he like kind of turns him to this side and tosses him. I need to see Oba do that, like how he did to that security guard on Raw. I want to see him do that to Brock Lesnar where he picks him up and tosses them freaking into the middle of the ring. Yo, that is going to be fantastic. Those are, like, to me, the two things I really want to see other than the finish of, you know, Brock should powerbomb him. And this match, I do think will be really fun, and I think Oba obviously should win, and I think there should be a definitive winner. I don't think it should be no cheating. I don't think it should be, especially with them being, like, monsters, it shouldn't be any type of cheating. It shouldn't be no, like, no contest. No, this match needs, like, a definitive pinfall winner, not even submission, pinfall winner. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, those are the 5 matches I think will deliver the most. I don't know about in that order, but you never know what could end up happening with the other matches. But these are just matches I predict will be kind of match of the year, or just the biggest or most standout matches coming out of the show as far as good in-ring quality. So I say Oba Femi and Brock, Roman Reigns and CM Punk, especially if the drama's really there. Seth Rollins and Gunther from a bell-to-bell aspect. Stephanie Vaquer and Liv as far as like the heat they've gotten to that match and the fact that they can both go in the ring. Like I said, Stephanie to that, you know, next level. And then obviously the ladder match of their Continental Championship where it can't fail. These guys, you know, they'll go crazy for ladder matches, especially with them being high flyers. Like they're gonna go that next level, especially like people like Penta and Javon and JD McDonough. Those are the ones I'm like, yeah, definitely are gonna go do what they need to do to get the match over. But anyway, y'all let me know what you think, you know, whether it's 3 matches, 4 or 5 matches. You let me know some of the few matches you think. I mean, even if all the matches, I hope all the matches deliver, but I was picking and predicting those as like ones that would stand out as great in-ring matches. So y'all let me know what the 5 is for y'all that y'all think will stand out before we get to the show of shows. See y'all in the next video, man. That's all you need to know, and that's the vibe that DJ's on. Like, comment, subscribe before you go, and I shall see you in the next video.